What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Gamer Podcast. I am your host, Antonius the Gamer. Once again, joined by my co-hosts, Super SSS Rank and Mikkel Smith. Fellas, thank you guys for joining me for another episode of content, questions, and controversy. And we're just going to go ahead and get right into it. We do have not as many topics as usual, but a couple of things to discuss as of late. Since the last time we recorded, Evo 2020-24 has dropped their list of games. Tim had posted it in the group chat and in regards to the lineup. And there was already a little bit of controversy there in terms of certain omissions. It's now been publicly regarded that, hey, Dragon Ball FighterZ, may it rest in peace. No longer on the Evo roster, nowhere to be seen. Who knows if it'll ever be returning again, just based on the delay when it comes to the rollback netcode and the PS5 and Xbox versions dropping. But Tim, I'll let you kick it off. How do you feel about this year's Evo 2024 list?
90% of it, it's the right picks. The final 10% was the final slot. Like, I don't think Third Strike should have been there. Like, I get it. Evo is trying to, like, I guess they're using the last slot as like a legacy title, because I think last year it was Marvel versus Capcom. But I was like, bro, another Street Fighter game. And I get it, you know, when you think of legacy games, you think of those old Capcom titles when you really look at it. But I kind of felt that it should have went to one of the Arc System Works property games that has receiving rollback netcode recently as of last year. Like, to be honest, you know, you had Persona 4, Arena Ultimax, they received rollback netcode. You should have given it to Melty Blood, because, you know, to be honest, I felt like Melty Blood was a solid title, the last one that they released. And, you know, it has rollback netcode and all these other factors. And, you know, and I feel like, you know, it matches that vibe of Undernight and Rebirth 2 as well. Because, you know, it's the same developers as well. Yeah, I just feel like that last slot could have just been better. And then, you know, of course, you know, Skullgirls has finally finished its DLC run. That could have been a good slot for that. And I kind of just felt like that last slot should go to much more, I would say smaller developers, I would say. But, you know, these games are still very popular. To be honest, like, you know, if you really want to grow to, like, continue to, like, the tag system route, like how they did with Marvel vs. Capcom, I feel like Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, you know, especially now it has rollback netcode, I feel like that would have been a great slot holder as well. But then other than that, all the staples are there. I did kind of feel like, and I guess this is like a Western thing. I did kind of feel like, so there's no mention of Virtua Fighter. I mean, it had a very solid release. Yeah, and I think it's more popular in Japan than it is over here. Like, you know, you have certain people over here who love the game. I enjoy the game mostly. But like I said, I just feel like that last slot could have went to something else. Because to be honest, I don't want to see two Street Fighter titles, and that's just me.
But do you feel like, because I kind of feel like with that last slot, like I agree with you that I don't necessarily would have wanted to see Street Fighter 3 on there, but I feel like that last slot kind of had to go to like a quote unquote throwback fighter of some sort. Like, I don't think they were looking to go with another modern choice. Is there like a throwback fighter you would have preferred to have seen other than Street Fighter? Like, if they're like, okay, it could have dropped before 2000, you would have wanted to see blank.
I mean, no, because like I said, bro, and I kind of feel like, you know, that's the thing with this nostalgia, that we have to kind of like pick like a point where it's like, okay, we've had enough of that. Because to be honest, yes, you know, we've seen Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 3 to the most lively, like we've lived those eras, bro. And I feel like that's where I'm speaking from. We've lived those eras. Like, yes, you know, if it was there, it would still have gained that great crowd reception. But I just kind of felt it should have went to, and I'll stand by this, it should have went to a smaller studio, man. Skullgirls has really just, like, they have grinded it out from the beginning, bro, with so many mishaps and so many backfires, and like they're basically like the No Man's Skies when it came to like fighting games, bro. They faced so much, but they are still here, and they rode that throughout to the end, bro.
Yeah.
And then like I said, French bread, with Arc System Works, like I said, Melty Blood could have been there, and even like the Arc Systems crown jewels of like Blaze Blue, Cross Tag Battle, and Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. Like I said, even if you want to talk about throwback, like to be honest, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, that came out during the PS3 era. Yes, it was updated to a certain degree for the PS4. Rollback netcode was added as well, but it's a great title, man. I actually bought that around Christmas, and I love it. I love it. So that's why I felt like yes, I get nostalgia, bro, but that's the power of YouTube. If you type in Evo, Marvel versus Capcom, or any of these things, bro, that catalog is just endless, bro. Endless. So how much more? How much more nostalgia do you actually need?
They're hoping to get their own version of the Daigo parry in 2024. They want to recreate the Ken and Chun-Li.
That's not going to be eventful at all.
I know. Jory, what are your thoughts on the Evo list of contenders?
I mean, it's fine. Third Strike doesn't need to be there. Third Strike. I don't think Third Strike should be there. Same thing with I don't think Third Strike should be there. Virtual Fighter should have been there, but doesn't have an audience over here. I don't know, man. None of these. I mean, except for Tekken 8 and Street Fighter 6, everything else is kind of. Oh well, Grand Blue Fantasy Rising could definitely needs to be there. But Undernight is cool. I know that's popular. Mortal Kombat 1 is, but you have to put that there. KOF. KOF it's fine. Just Third Strike gotta go, man.
You know why I feel like KOF is there? Because you also gotta realize, Evo is also for announcements. DLC announcements or next game announcements. You already know KOF. That's definitely the link towards, the City of the Wolves game that was announced. You already know. Because I kind of feel like KOF has a very short life cycle, bro. For some odd reason, like especially these later ones, like anything outside of King of Fighters 13, I feel like these last two modern ones, they have a very short lifespan.
Which is weird because it's like it does numbers on YouTube. Like anytime they drop a new trailer, the views are there, right? The cult following is there. You see people like doing King of Fighters fan art, right? You see all these different things that like give you the impression that the fan base is like established. But I agree with you, Tim. It's like I feel like I see it, it'll drop, a DLC trailer will drop, and those fans will return, and then the DLC drops, and then it's just like they go into the abyss again. And you just never hear from them until something else happens.
Because the thing is, none of us know what the storyline for King of Fighters is, and because of that, it doesn't resonate with anybody because we just that's just that fighting game that's like Street Fighter but not quite as popular. Because they don't have we know who Geese Howard is. You know what I'm saying? I know who Geese Howard is because of KOF versus SNK versus Capcom 2. That's how I know about Geese Howard, because he was the sub boss before you fight Rugal. And we don't know what's going on. We don't know who the main character is. First it's Rock, then it's Kaio, and then it's somebody else, and then it's Terry. So with King of Fighters, I think the storyline needs to be a little bit more clear for everybody. And I don't think they have any English dubs, do they? They have English voices?
It depends on the game. I mean, they gave Terry an English voice for Smash Brothers, technically.
Well, yeah, but I don't think there's an English voice for any of the games, too. So, I don't know anybody. Well,
to be honest, that doesn't bother me because Undernight has no English. Aside from the user face, like the characters, they're in Japanese, and I don't care.
Yeah, but to be fair,
but if you wanted to penetrate, I think that should always be optional. I think what King of Fighters is missing
Kingdom Fighters has been
King
around
of
too
Fight-
long to not have English dub. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
it's
Like, Undernight
for-
still,
you know-
Undernight, it's new, quote unquote, in comparison to how long King of Fighters has been around.
Yeah, and King of Fighters, it comes off as too cartoony for certain people. I think people want that level of
To
They
me,
want
King of Fighters has always just lacked that like peak design. At the risk of sounding
the design is lackluster.
takes it
Yeah,
over the top. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like even with that one girl whose name I don't know, but she, people draw her all the time. The ninja with the cleavage, right, and like the orange top or whatever with the ponytail.
yeah.
I don't know
I
her
forgot-
name.
Mai.
Sure, right, Mai. But I'm like,
Mai.
now imagine showing a picture of Mai with that, iconic cleavage shot, and then holding her up next to a picture of Morrigan. It's not even close in terms of design, right? If I'm going for a cleavage shot, I'm gonna pick Morrigan 10 out of 10 times compared to Mai.
Yeah.
Like King of Fighters is just like they're cool, they're not bad. I've definitely seen worse designs, but I think in terms of I think it was either you or Tim, or maybe both of y'all said it. It's like when it comes to fighters, like your character design has to carry you. It has to.
Yeah, it has to.
The story could be foolishness, but if your character design in the fighting game is amazing, it will fill in the blanks. And I think King of Fighters has just suffered from it just looks even Grand Blue versus. I'm like, man, I don't know anything about Grand Blue at all, but some of these character design, like Buddy with the little fire line, I'm like, this looks dope. Who is this guy? Who is this character? There's just something about him that catches my eye and my interest because the design looks cool.
You know what cripples I think King of Fighters is the design. They design it for sprites and it doesn't translate well to 3D.
Yes, because like I said, the best Kingdom Fighters that I believe to me was 13.
Everybody says that.
Yeah. And that's when the last time that they had that version. So when they switched over to this more modern age aesthetic, it was hard on the eyes for me. Because even with 14, they had to do a whole new graphic update because people just was not feeling it. They was just not feeling it. Yes, 15, they eventually got the hang of it, but then I just feel to be honest, a lot of these characters I know nothing about. Maybe it's just the franchise itself. But yeah, it goes back to what I said. I always feel like it always has a very short lifespan, especially in this modern era, I would feel. And, I feel like SNK is just really coming back into the fold, but I also realize their games really, yes, they do have a very short lifespan, man. And, they're kind of just jumping from one thing to the next. Because I know it was Samurai Showdown they came with, man, look how fast that went. Mm-hmm. Then we went back to King, now we're King of Fighters 15.
Footsies, man. Footsies. You can't give me a sword and I want to play footsies, man. That's what Mortal Kombat is suffering. Mortal Kombat 11. Footsies.
I mean, speaking of games and their lifespan and getting them out of here, two of those games on that list come to mind. Do we really feel like Mortal Kombat 1 and Guilty Gear Strive deserve to be there? All things considered. Guilty Gear Strive, I feel like they're on season 3. Every time they announce a new season, I'm like, people must be playing this game in the dark because I don't hear anything about it ever. That Discord must be going crazy somewhere because I don't ever see it on Twitter. I don't ever see it on social media. Nothing.
You know what's so tragic about this thing?
What time it is with Mortal Kombat 1, but go ahead.
I think with Strive, there's Street Fighter and Tekken do a better job at introducing the player into a more welcoming to novice. Mm-hmm. With Strive kind of simplified itself, and they removed a whole lot of the character, how a lot of the characters play and the crazy stuff that you could do. Mm-hmm. That's why people gravitated to Guilty Gear, right? So imagine you have this niche audience, they're going to Guilty Gear to say, yo, I can do anything I want in Guilty Gear. And then you take that from the people that you need them to be there to introduce this new crowd that you want. Because now they left because they're no longer satisfied, and this new crowd's not going to jump on it because there's nobody to reel them in. So for me, when I saw it, because Guilty Gear's designs now, that art style change, beautiful, love it. But after that, it doesn't do anything else. It doesn't. There's nothing else that draws me in, because now you nerfed everybody, and now you got all these other characters. What's this character that just recently dropped with the gun? She can do the crazy stuff that people like. They got the crazy combinations,
but it took 3 seasons to get there.
And now you lost the momentum. You know, you lost the momentum. I think that's what killed it, man. If they gave us Rev 2 times whatever with new system mechanics and whatnot, then it would have been more of everybody would have been on board.
Yeah, and I feel like, you know, it suffers from the Capcom treatment. They cut too many pinnacle characters, man. They cut too many pinnacle characters. You took out instant kills, so you kind of just took out like what made this game a pinnacle in people's eyes. Yeah. And it's just, I feel like that was a very, and then, you know, everybody just trying to hide behind, and I hate it, bro. And everybody just trying to hide behind DLC. Everybody's trying to hide behind, oh, but you know, the final product will make everything worth it. No. As personally as me, as a person who's played fighters for years, I want to feel like, all right, you know, back in the PS2 era, like, I remember me and my god brothers, we used to go so ham when it comes to Tekken. Yes, black people in Tekken, as the memes go. Black people in Tekken and Soul Calibur, man. Like,
that's crazy.
These PS2 titles felt like complete games. And we were spending hours and hours on them. Even like on Virtua Fighter 4. Like, we spent hours in these games, bro. Simple verses, learn Weapon Master, all these other things. Because they felt like complete games. Because back in those days, that's what you used to do.
Every now and then you get like an updated release, but you're right. For the most part, it was like out the gate.
Yeah, out the gate, it was a complete game. So yes, like, you know, DLC should feel like a bonus, an ultimate bonus. But I kind of feel like you're leaning too much into that safety net, and you're just giving us bare bones, but you're charging us, like, as of now, like $70.
But do you feel like, because like, and this is just for conversation's sake, because I do agree with you. Like, you know, obviously we've been friends for a long time, so you know how I felt about DLC out the gate when it came to anything. But I look at, like, so I recently got Fighters again on my Switch because they were having like a great sale. I got, like, I think like everything for like $30, like season passes included. And one of the things that I realized, like, playing Fighters again was that you don't really see how much the combat system opens up until you get to DLC Season 2. Like, the standard roster Season 1's fine. Like, there's enough, like, Vegito and Bardock, like, they offer enough variety moveset-wise. But when you get Gogeta and Kid Goku in Season 2, and you see the range of what they can do, you're just like, now this game is like a game. Like, now I'm starting to see, like, what's possible. And then Season 3, you have Ultra Instinct Goku, who can do everything, right? You have Super Baby, who has, like, you know, the less companions he has, the stronger his attacks get. So, like, I feel like it's hard for Arc System Works, where it's like, yes, it's the Dragon Ball franchise, but they've seen the literal profits of when we introduce something crazy to the game mechanics through DLC, our numbers go up. So why not do that with Guilty Gear? Like, that's the thing where I'm like, I could see why you would want to take that route of, like, we'll just mix things up with the DLC.
It works for certain people. It really does. But then, like I said, like, you know, it has to be amazing. You know, some of these characters that you brought back, like bro, they was in Rev 2 and they just do this much of a difference from that to now.
See. It wasn't enough
so
of a, I got you.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough there to, like, wow.
Because, like, you know, and we could go right into it. Like, look what happened with Mortal Kombat 1. It's like this Quan Chi compared to Mortal Kombat X Quan Chi. I'm just like, or I would even say Mortal Kombat 9 Quan Chi. It's like, bro, that's it. So we just get cracking. So that's all we get is cracking portal Quan Chi, and I was like, bro, that's it. That's it. Like, and, you know, like, yes, you know, Alchemist Shang Tsung, that was interesting, and there were some different elements. I feel like they added enough to make him feel like an entirely different character. Because to be honest, like I did not like Mortal Kombat's 11 version of Shang Tsung, because I feel like they redid this Shang Tsung as DLC for the next, like, kind of make up for that, because I felt like Shang Tsung Mortal Kombat 11 1 was very lackluster.
He was pretty much chameleon. If you think about it.
Yeah, that was it. He was very, very lackluster. And yeah, it goes back to what I'm saying, bro. Like, yes, like, like a lot of these things are just not, like, they're not wowing us anymore. And to go into Street Fighter, like, bro, we gonna call it out for what it is. These season 1 characters, you already had character models for them, because remember when I showed you the original roster, Ed, Aki, Akuma, all of them were already there. So why is it before release they just randomly get cut? Yes, you probably was not finished with them, but yes, these characters are not wowing me.
I mean, Ed's trailer look cool. I like the whole Psycho Whip. I'm gonna use you as a punching bag. Like, that was cool. It was cool.
Yeah, but where's Dudley?
Well, Dudley got his dad's car back and retired, quote unquote.
That's so stupid, man. Like, you already have these characters that's there and you want to get rid of them. It's like, okay, there goes a fan base right there.
Well, I guess I just wonder, like, and to play devil's advocate, shoot them some bail, whatever. I think we're running this dangerous risk of fighting character types bleeding too much into each other, right? Where it's like, if Tekken 8 has a boxer character, if Street Fighter has a boxer character, if Mortal Kombat has a boxer character, where do you really start to stand out in your roster? Because if all that's synonymous in that way, I'll just go play Tekken 8. Because at face value, I'm getting more for my money roster-wise across the board. And I already have these character archetypes. I have my boxer. I have my mixed martial artist. I have my sumo-style character. As a developer, what do you do in these fighting games, like Tim said, to give you that wow factor of, like, I can't just give you a boxer anymore. I can't just give you Balrog and Dudley. They don't do enough.
I mean,
I got to give you Black Whip, Deku, Ed to make it. No, here's our boxer.
That's fine. I think you just model it after actual fighters that exist. There's a variety of fighters that exist. They do not fight the same, and they have enough uniqueness to make fights interesting and matchup interesting. That's why the UFC is crazy and all the boxing matches are crazy.
But I don't think Street Fighter ever models themselves off realism, to be honest. I feel like when it comes to games like that, it's always been like Tekken and Virtua Fighter.
You just use it for reference. Like, you exaggerate Tyson's Dempsey role. You exaggerate you exaggerate certain things that Tyson does, and a certain thing that certain fighter Conor McGregor does. You just exaggerate on it, and then that's enough to make the characters even more unique. Like we can go to Dragon Ball Z. Yamcha doesn't fight like Goku. Yamcha has an actual style. And so it's very, you have enough variety there. You just pull the same theory of art. You take from realism and then you manipulate it. You master the real natural and then you manipulate it into whatever you want to do. And that's it. You have an endless combination of things. I think people look at it's not that hard because there's a boxer here and there's a boxer there. You just can mix up. You just mix up and make things fun. That's why I think Ed is fun. Right,
but I think that comes with a certain level of confidence, right? So, like, to kind of use that same example, right? Look at Naruto and Jujutsu Kaisen. We know that Gojo is Kakashi, right? Like that. There's no subtlety there. It's a white-haired sensei who covers up his all-powerful eye with a bandana, right? Like we've established this. However, the way they're established as characters allow them to differ. Whereas like Kakashi was on this pedestal that they just kept, chopping down every arc. Every time he would run out of stamina or get bodied by, some rogue ninja that we never heard of before. Whereas like he became a normal by the time he got to the time skip. With Gojo, it's like, no, Gojo is this dude, has been that dude, and continues to be that dude, and therefore they start to splinter in terms of like, this is what makes him him, this is what makes him him, this is what makes Sukuna Sukuna, this is what makes Hollow Ichigo. Whereas like with Street Fighter, I feel like some of their confidence took a hit, right? Where it's like, we're gonna give you Sagat and Adon. People don't like Adon, they only like Sagat. We're gonna give you Dark Ryu, Psycho Ken, and Akuma, but they don't like Dark Ryu. They don't like Psycho Ken or Violent Ken. They only like Akuma. And if they want an advanced version of the Dark Haru, we only like Oni. We don't like these other things that you've done with these dark characters. We haven't seen Dark Sakura since the Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter. So I think they've lost some of that confidence of like, we can pull inspiration and still make it ours in a way that
those were poor executions, though.
No, to be honest, I feel like the last confident character Street Fighter did. Remember that oil wrestler who was E Honda's
Hassan
rival in
Hakan, yeah.
Bro, he was difficult to use, but like, bro, that style of fighting was just very quirky to me. Like, the more he applies,
they hated El Forte. People hate El Forte.
No, they hated El Forte because
I'm talking about Hakan.
No, yeah, Hakan. But I'm saying, but people didn't like Hakan either. They don't like
people hated Hakan because he was too gimmicky. His design didn't help him. He was literally a pink dude with blue hair. His design didn't help him.
Who put the lotion on the skin?
El Fuerte? El Fuerte? Yeah, it didn't help him, dog. El Fuerte? With El Fuerte?
Lube by the gallon.
With El Fuerte, his design didn't help because they turned him into a joke character. You know,
what's
like,
wrong with that?
I think...
Can Dan be the only joke character? Is that how that works? It can only be Dan?
It's like the execution has to be there for it. You know, I didn't feel like El Fuerte was going to cut it for me, man, because it's super dynamic cooking time. And I'm just like, okay.
But then look at characters like Crimson Viper, who was basically on toe-to-toe with Cammy, but never seen again.
Yeah.
She was fire.
Yeah, which is weird because she's
very good design
popular.
too.
Yeah.
But they're weird.
That's what I'm saying. Like to kind of bring the conversation full circle. I don't know, right? I can't say for sure that Capcom has that confidence right now. Of like you said, like, why not bring back Dudley? Why not bring back these characters? I don't know that they have the confidence that these characters are going to be well received.
Well, first of all,
they've had a history of them not working.
Don't bring back no Shadowloo characters because you've made it confident in Street Fighter V. Shadowloo is done.
And then ruined the one character you wanted back. Like, I was like, oh, good, Charlie's back. Oh, he's a Frankenstein monster, Charlie. Never mind, you can keep it.
Stupid. Yeah, keep it. Man, you know, it doesn't help that people see Bison in tubes now. Because people, is Bison and Seth gonna come back, dude? Like, in the Ed stage, you know, they're losing it, man.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know that Street Fighter has that, like, or Capcom, let me say, has that confidence in Street Fighter right now to really be bold with their character designs.
But that would be the answer, though.
But then you could tell that they don't, because, bro, look what happened with the story mode. The villain is Shadowloo's accountant.
Yeah, that's bad.
So, you know, and
then he didn't even really lose. He chose to lose, kind of like.
Yeah, because like Tim said, they didn't know what to do. So we can't have him be defeated because this may not be the end, quote unquote.
Oh no, they're gonna give us that story DLC. It's coming.
Nah, it would have been announced already. They don't know what to do with this story, bro. And that goes back to what we said a while ago.
Reboot.
So
I said it.
No, bro. I just want them to, like, at this point, if Akuma wins, I wouldn't be mad. Bro.
He established himself as a top order. Top apex predator.
They should have rebooted. Make the story make sense. Add new characters where they weren't originally in the timeline, and then you would have had yourself longevity.
It's too late for that now, bro.
Yeah,
it really is, because now you finally established a game past the infamous third strike, and this is what you do with it.
Take
people thought this story should have been on the next level, bro, but it was just like they linked too much, and that's why, like, I have like an iffy relationship about the whole created character world thing, because I knew once they introduced that, the story was going to tank,
be non-existent. Yeah,
That because that is a prime because even when they said it, I'm like, oh yeah, Luke, he is pinnacle to the future of the series. I was like, so he's basically your instructor for this.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I would have took a very some wise counsel. I would have done what these guys have been doing for the years. Hey guys, we've ridden ourselves into a corner. Crisis on 3 Earths.
No, but then the thing about it, it works, but you gotta find a pinnacle point to do it. Because look what happened with Soul Calibur. Soul Calibur realized, no, that last one with Altair was trash, and they made Soul Calibur 6 the end all be all. If this does not sell, this series is done. So they were smart. They made a reboot to a certain point.
As soon as you put Darth Vader, what you thought was going to happen? As soon as you put Darth Vader and Starkiller in the game, what you thought was going to happen?
Nothing.
As soon as you remove Taki and half of the roster and put these new kids in, what you thought was going to happen? Who is Patroclo's kid? I'm supposed to respect a character named Patroclos? No. And the story mode, y'all put no budget. Y'all give me another game where I'm looking at high resolution characters and y'all giving me pages of a storybook, and this is the chapter of Soul Calibur, and it's like an RPG that was playing and rolling in the 90s. Nah, kid, y'all gonna flatline immediately. I'm not taking it. That's why Soul Calibur 3 low key was beloved. It had that little turn-based strategy game. They was building upon the world. They had these little side characters and creative fighting styles that you would not normally get in the regular game. So you created a fan base that are dedicated to Soul Calibur 3, because I felt like that's when you're starting to come into the world. Soul Calibur can be that fighting game to where the world is interesting and the fighting game, and it just happens to be a fighting game. And those side story modes work. So Calibur doesn't have to follow the template of other fighting games. It could be its own, and this will make Soul Calibur what Soul Calibur is. I thought they were going to give me that in 4. Nowhere to be found. I thought they were going to bring it back in 5. Terrible. You got all these characters. No, and then you had 7 characters that were just randomized characters. Master Keelik, Weapon Master Keelik. What is that? What is that? What you thought was gonna happen? What y'all thought was gonna happen? Like, I'm baffled. And then now, a lot of the characters that you baffled, man. Soul Calibur don't have to be that. I would say take from 3, give us that world, build upon it. You did a great job at how making it look at Tekken Force. Tekken Force was like, yo, the little segment that they gave us in Tekken was flames.
Speaking of Tekken, do you guys think there'll be any announcements at Evo?
Absolutely.
Possibly.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's enough done on like the Eddie Gordo character for it to be like a showcase. But I think it's kind of similar to Street Fighter 6. There'll be a roadmap where it's like, here's what we're looking at. Like Eddie Gordo, sometime before the end of spring. Next character, end of summer, fall. Like I think you're gonna get something like that with whatever like improvements to gameplay or gameplay modes being announced alongside. I think that's the trailer we get for Tekken.
Well, apparently there's been some data mines for the Tekken DLC, and outside of Eddie Gordo 3, well, they revealed it by countries. So people matched the countries and the fighting styles, because they found it in the source code, the countries and the fighting style towards, and then, so there's only 3 characters. So Australia, who is an Australian? Craig Murdoch. Poland, the final DLC character from the last Tekken. She was the only person from Poland.
Lydia.
Us?
Yeah, basically to resell her. And that's why I found, like, so where is she? Because, like, they said she was going to become a pinnacle character. Well, she is after. And then the last one, the signature Muay Thai character from Thailand. For those not watching, for those not
Ramen.
watching, Jory has a hate for Fakuramen, but it's like, bro, like I said, bro,
He has a
they're
Vegeta vein in
picking
his forehead
character.
right now.
They're picking.
Y'all should have just based Fakuramen off of Sanchai, and then I would have accepted it. But this character is ridiculously. I hate his design. It don't even make no. Yeah, his design is trash.
I don't
You
know
see
about
his
that.
body proportions?
Okay, is he not a Sagat? Is he not a
He is a
Sagat?
Sagat.
No,
He's Tekken
Sagat looks way more
Bro,
way
they're
more
the same
acceptable.
height. They're
No,
the same
no.
height.
Do you
Same
see
build. He just
Fakuramen's?
got tattoos, bro. Come on.
No, bro. Fakuramen's waist is. It's like he don't even make his body proportions are ridiculous. Go look at Fakuramen again, dog. For me. I thought it was a cartoon. When I was watching it. I like he could be tall. You could be tall like Sagat, but Sagat looks like a proportionate human being. He just big. You seen
I mean,
Fakuramen's
Sagat do
portion?
not look like a proportionate human being, bro. He's like 7 foot in Street Fighter world. He's not proportionate at all.
What you mean? There's a 7. Oh my god!
A 7 foot Muay Thai fighter, bro. Because think about
You
it.
already have fighters that tall.
If I use like 5'8", for him to do a leaping uppercut that scars the entire top half of your body,
That's not.
how tall would you have
no.
to be?
He's proportionate to his build. That's what I'm saying. He's proportionate to his
the
body.
builds.
His
I'm
body.
just like,
His
bruh.
body build. Yeah. Not his height. That's gonna be exact. If that's the case, G is ridiculous. You know how tall G is?
Well, actually, technically, we don't know past the hat.
G is
my
tall.
God.
G and Gil. And then who else? Gil's brother.
Urian.
Urian. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Those I ain't gonna lie. Those guys would be amazing to see come back.
Hey, but speaking of more DLC, Peacemaker DLC got
Bro,
pushed back.
this
Let's finish Tekken. Let's finish Tekken.
yo, this is no. Get the 3D rendered. This is the drawing. You could cheat. Get the 3D rendered. Dog, it's foolishness, dog. This character, look at this character. You know who constructed this character? Somebody from not even Guilty Gear, dog. Somebody from SNK. He don't even look. I'm just like, dog, I can't receive this character. No wait, like his intro was amazing, right? And then like his intro was fire. He comes in this box, choom, 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 choom. Then you release him, and then I'm just like, nah.
Yeah, he's the ultimate weapon for his country.
You should have
In
just.
the King of Iron Fist tournament, he is the ultimate weapon of his country. I get it. You know, you have a loyalty to Bruce Irving for the culture. I get that, but like I said, bro, like Tekken, I've come to realize they're starting to go the virtual fighter route where they're choosing characters of fighting styles that are relation to country. Because, bro,
I
it
love
also
that
works
about Street Fighter that they didn't care about. I mean, Tekken that they didn't care about that.
No,
first, man.
but it makes sense though, bro, because it makes sense in terms of stages. Like, look at what they did with Victor, a French yacht in the middle of a river, canal, whatever, harbor.
That's Tom Cruise from Collateral. I'm just saying.
I mean, but to be honest, he was the only person who got a signature stage. Everything is from the story mode. Hollow Ichigo got like 3 stages.
Asusena got her own stage.
Who?
Yeah, she do. Asusena.
Yeah. Ultra Instinct Coffee Drinker. She has her own stage. It's beautiful.
Oh yes, the Peru girl. Yes. Yeah. Her and Victor are like the only people who got their like signature stages, bro.
Harada,
Like,
come on, man. I'll pay for this.
Nah, bro.
I'll pay for it.
Bruce Irvin is gone, bro.
I'll pay
Bro,
for it.
they don't took over the Mishima Zaibatsu and
I'll pay
G
for it.
Corporation like 5 times, and he's just been disappeared, bro. He's done. He's
I'll pay
done.
for it.
Well,
He's done.
To move the conversation forward, how do you guys feel about paying for DLC characters that we paid for last time? Again, like it's not even like what they did with like
Times 3.
What do you mean times 3?
Because Lydia, Craig, and Fakuramen were all DLC characters.
Oh my goodness! Wow, that's
You know how I would market that? You know how I would market that?
How?
Let me tell you how I would market that. I would give us, if it's characters we already bought again, I would give a character pack with all 3 characters being provided.
at like a lower price.
No, yeah, at a lower price. No, they're in a pack. You get Fakuramen, you get Lydia. No, and they're at a low price. They're at the price of one brand new character.
Well, I think part of the reason why this is happening is it falls on the fans a bit, right? I say all the time, I think gamers, we have selective outrage, and sometimes the best ways, sometimes the worst ways of like, we have allowed this fighting game landscape of like, hey, we're gonna let you, and again, it's not just Tekken, right? It's like, hey, Street Fighter, we're gonna let you sell us Akuma not once but twice. Hey, Mortal Kombat, we're gonna let you sell us Rain, not once but twice, and not only sell us Rain, give us Shang Tsung as DLC.
Well, WB is gonna destroy y'all. So like,
I'm just saying, but it's not just them, because I'm just saying like, it's one of those things where it's just like because speaking about WB, right? When they started doing the seasonal fatalities, people saw the price point and said, absolutely not. I'm not paying you that amount of money to stuff a giant turkey down Reptile's throat. I refuse. It's not going to happen. And you saw that they course corrected from there. So I'm like, we have selective outrage. We've seen the power of gamer demand, right? We're one of the few entertainment industries that still can move the needle with the power of our pocketbook. And it's like, when it comes to DLC, for whatever reason, we allow these companies to just sell us these characters of like, why would I pay for this person again? Why should a character from Street Fighter V that was just introduced, what's his name, buddy who uses the wind techniques, Rashid, why am I letting you sell me Rashid as DLC? Yeah, I liked him. He was a cool character. I liked his special, cool design, the scouter. That's dope. You're selling me this brand new character as DLC one game later? And I'm going to be like, okay. Who's that?
That's a Tekken 8 render of Bruce Irving.
Oh,
supposedly.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Like I said, moving the conversation forward.
I'm a summoning Exodia, dog, once this happens, kid. That's so bad, dog. All Egyptian god cards.
I think this is just Tekken being maybe the worst example of what, again, we as gamers have allowed to happen. We allowed them to kind of create this ecosystem of like, hey, we're gonna sell you this character. Sure, they're gonna play different, but yeah, all these other characters play different too. I wouldn't expect Jin to play 1-for-1, but I also didn't pay for Jin. I paid for Jin when I bought the game.
Watch how Miguel gonna come back playing like Negan.
Oh Lord, please, no.
Nah, bro. Like, I'm telling you, that was Miguel's true template, bro. Because it's like, so you gave us a character who basically has no fighting style to a character from another universe, but then the other character who has no real fighting style, who's basically, yes, a Street Fighter, is so bland, but he has a pinnacle part in the story because of what Jin did. Mm-hmm. And then this whole game is about, Jin, get your groove back. You are the savior of the world. Like, no, bro. Like, he literally caused an apocalypse like 2 months ago.
He still has some consequences and karma to deal with.
Like, how are you just having a whole tournament with Jin Kazama, and it's like, bro, like, there's a lot of people who are still burying their dead.
Yeah, because
after what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jin, I ain't gonna lie. Jin Kazama should have been on the run from the Raven Force. On the run from the Raven Force. They want him dead because they're going after Heihachi Mishima. Lars is trying to make sure, because he's trying to make sure that Jin doesn't die, because Jin, keep the peace, because
that's what happened. But that's what happened. Tekken 6 is basically Street Fighter 3. They didn't know what they want to do with this.
It's not hard. Read your lore.
This story has so many retcons and pieces back and forth that, I mean, yes, Tekken 7, I understand why they went the story that route, because it actually saved the series. This focus on the Mishima family, let's bring it back to formula in a good way. Mm-hmm. The first fight, Heihachi versus Kazuya. Why does this man hate his father so much? And yeah, the whole mom was an interesting twist, because where's your mother during all of this? Oh yeah, she's dead.
Right.
The storyline for Tekken, I'm easily seeing this. You already have people with occupations. That's how these role-playing games come about.
But again,
I'm a hunter. I'm an archer.
I'm gonna sound like a broken record. you're putting too much faith in the company's ability to execute. If they can't write a story, they can't write a story. It doesn't matter.
That's what I'm saying. Like, dog, find somebody who can write a story. Y'all putting all this money anyway. That's what I'm saying. It don't make no sense to me, dog. There's a Christopher Nolan right there. There's a Russo brother right there, dog. Just hire the man. I'll be baffled. Yeah, okay. And it's like an intern that wrote 2 online stories, man. Like, yo,
I agree with you. We talked about Tekken last podcast, and we were all on the same page of like, you have all these interesting characters with these really intriguing and engaging storylines, and we see none of it.
Like, Steve Fox didn't go Sephiroth. Steve Fox didn't go Sephiroth. You feel me? Like, he's a lab experiment.
Like, hold on. First of all, his name is Sephiroth.
Oh, Sephiroth. Okay, Sephiroth. I still call him Sephiroth, man. But I'm gonna disrespect homie in the name of Virgil, dog.
No, we're gonna get there to it in a second. So no closing thoughts you guys have on Tekken 8 DLC Alleged Season 1.
It's gonna come to an end.
A little bit.
It's gonna come to an end. That whole is gonna die because people gonna. What? No, Tekken's rollout's fire.
But I mean, if these leaks are true, reselling me a whole bunch of characters I already paid for from the last game is not necessarily. It doesn't keep the fire lit underneath your game.
That's why when they were doing these roster choices, I was starting to get a little like worried, bro. Like, hold up, bro. Where's Julia Chang? Where's Marduk? Where's Anna Williams? Where's Lydia? Where's Kunimitsu? Yeah, bro. Like, I mean, I'm thankful for the 32 characters, but nah, bro, you kind of missing quite a lot. Especially when you find out that, like, you know, Heihachi's only been dead for 2 weeks. I was like, bro, these characters are alive.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, no matter how you put it, you're still buying the characters all over again, even if you come up with a genius business model.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's tricky. It's tricky because
I think they could do it.
If they could remix it well enough.
Street Fighter V way, where in Street Fighter V you can unlock couldn't you unlock these characters if you had enough? Not the Street. Not exactly like that. That's what they did initially,
and then they just went straight DLC. Like,
yeah,
initially you kind of fighter points or whatever to get Guile, but
because that whole system was rigged, bro.
Yes.
It was rigged.
Oh no, not they was definitely doing pachinko machine stuff.
Yes,
I'm just saying.
It was a Street Fighter the gacha game to unlock like these characters.
I feel you.
It's a little. I'll say, just so we can move on. Like, it's worrisome, is what I'll say. If that's true, if that's the route they're gonna go with this first season, I would have much have rather them go with, like, I don't know, the classic character pack, like Tim said, where they resell us Anna, resell us Julia, like resell us these characters that like have not really been in the game in a while and could maybe use a DLC refresh of just focused attention, where it's just like, here's this brand new design for, I don't name anybody, you know what I'm saying? Like, just something where it's like, okay, this is different. Versus,
but see, that's what happened in Tekken 7. Like, they literally sold so many classic characters again. Like, it's a list, bro. It's a long list, bro. They actually gave us a character that we haven't seen. I guess, like, I think he was from like Tekken 3, Ganryu, the only sumo character that we have. So it's kind of like, how do you go? And that's why I say, bro, it's Tekken 7.
Ganryu, like Bob.
Oh, yeah.
Ganryu, Bob, Julia, Lei.
Bro, Tekken 7 gave us Armored King, Lei. So it's kind of like, when, a roster of 32, I was like, yeah, bro, that's good and all, but if you ain't talking like 40, something wrong with you. Because I felt like, especially when you know the time skip of what this game, the next game is, it's like, no, bro, where are these characters? Who are pinnacle to the story? You bring back this Leo dude and his treasure hunter daddy that nobody really care about.
He don't even look like he's a fighter, dog.
He don't even like he belongs in that game. It's weird.
Like,
weird.
He's like an Uncharted, Jurassic Park standalone stand-in kid. Like, I'm looking at him, I'm like, yo, this from Jurassic Park.
He speaks German. He's just like, he's not. I'm just like, this is such a weird inclusion to this roster. Like, what an odd choice.
And then, like I said, I still felt like they reneged with the whole Devil Jin. Like, even though, yes, maybe this is his last final, technically, his last final, but I just kind of felt like, well, bro, Kazuya has so many moves where he turns to devil form and does whatever. Jin has like 25% of that. It's like, bro, like, Devil Jin did not need to take up a slot like that, bro. He really didn't. And
just
especially
give Jin the moves.
And then especially since you could switch between Michigan style and Kazama style, it's like, yeah, bro, like if you could have unlocked the transformation when you turned to Devil Jin, that could have just gave us a whole new moveset. Tekken is known for that.
Make him an install character.
So yeah, man, like I just kind of feel like these current DLCs are in a very weird state of like limbo, but then also, like I get it, you know, season ones are usually to iron out the kinks, but not at the cost of so much money. Because, like, you know, for example, Mortal Kombat 1 is really at a wavy point, man. You know, Peacemaker.
Getting pushed back.
Excuse me. Peacemaker got pushed back. And, you know, and to be honest, I was looking forward to that character. Because I realized it's like.
You said you weren't.
I mean, as of now, because, no, I rewatched The Suicide Squad. And I was like, you know what? I'm interested to see how far they gonna take this character in terms of his quirkiness with the gunplay and like actual fighting style to see that like what really is gonna be built off this. Because like I said, man, Quan Chi was a letdown. Omni-Man was just the remnants of Injustice 2.
It was cool. I think he was different. Right, like, is it safe to say that like Omni-Man was a solid guest appearance character for season 1?
Yeah, but it was just for hype because even, you know, sorry about that. Because even the infamous Invincible show, like, you know, they did part 1 and part 2. I just kind of feel like the momentum was just off this season round, I would say. So, like, yeah, like, you know, he was a guest character, but I wasn't really too hyped for it. And, you know, Homelander, you already shot that into the water. So it's like, well, the only 2 characters that we got left is a story mode character that, you know, we fought as a boss multiple times and a combat kid from the future or another timeline.
Yeah. The thing that might be interesting about Peacemaker, though, I don't know if you guys ended up watching his show on HBO, but
not yet.
You guys should. It's really good. It's really, really good.
Yeah, it's on my list.
Yeah. So I guess light spoiler.
No, I don't care for spoilers, bro. Go ahead.
Like, pretty much you come to find out that his dad originally designed parts of his costume, and he has access to different types of helmets that give him different abilities. So it's not just he's a deadly marksman. It's like, as the show progresses, like, he has different hats or different helmets. Still kind of a similar design. Like, they don't like stray too much from what he wears in the movie, but it's just like it gives him access to like just not another guy with a gun. You know, like it allowed it to where it's like there's a little bit more variety that I can see NetherRealm incorporating into his moveset where, like, again, it's not just John Cena Striker. It's John Cena Striker with the ability to do, you know, no spoilers, but just like blank, blank, and blank, as well as shooting people. So,
okay. Bro, you can say any spoilers. Peacemaker been out for this long. You can say whatever you need to say.
That's true. I'm just saying, like, it's something where it's like they have the potential for him to be a unique enough character, but him being pushed back, like I was saying in the group chat, like, does not look well. Like, it doesn't look like the fact that Ed Boon has gone radio silent, the fact that Peacemaker got pushed back. To be honest, like, they're in that bunker, bro.
Because he was supposed to come out before Valentine's. He was supposed to come out before Valentine's Day of that week, but then now he comes out the same week as Ed.
They in that bunker, just like how soon to get that Aftermath DLC? Because it's looking a little rough for us fellas. Like, it's just to the point where it's like people looking at Mortal Kombat like, why are you guys even on Evo? Like, that's how bad it's been.
Because to be honest, when I'm really looking at the Evo calendar, you know, it's in the heart of summer. To be honest, most of these season 1 DLC should be finished by now. By then, so most of that should actually be like, well, except for Tekken. Most of that should be bless you. Most of that should be like season 2 announcements, story expansion announcements. So I'm looking forward to that. In terms of Grand Blue, since we haven't really talked about them, I just hope that they don't go ham with this DLC selling part 2-ish. Because I felt like the first one is like, all right, well, bro, how many new characters y'all about to bring out? And it was like multiple season passes, bro. And it's just like, I just lost count, bro. I mean, the characters are beautiful. The world is beautiful. And, and I get it, they wanted something with synergy with the RPG that's coming out, which is good. But it's just, all right, don't go too ham. Don't go too ham on this DLC.
I don't know. It's if it ain't broke, they'll do it. That's
and its arc systems work, so I just know it. But I'm really, like I said, bro, like this tournament, I do feel this is going to be the first year that we're going to really see like what these next gen fighters are really capable of. And I just really hope like, they really put enough effort into really pushing these platforms forward, man.
Well, speaking of next gen fighters and pushing the platform forward, Tim, tell us, we've been waiting with bated breath. Undernight Rebirth is finally out. You were telling us about the pre-order.
No, it's Undernight in Birth 2.
Okay, I stand corrected.
Honestly, that's my favorite game on the entire roster, man. Honestly, bro, like that game when I bought the, apparently it has the typical Arc System Works cycle where the base vanilla version came out this year, then an updated came out this year. They added 3 new characters with this. Oh yeah, here's a DLC with that, and I got the last version at the last one where it was Undernight in Birth. CLR, and honestly, man, I fell in love with it. Like, I was glued to that game during COVID, bro. The combat system is so deep. It was it looks simple when you look at like the actual fighting through YouTube. Like, it looks simple, but like, no, bro. This stuff is very deep, and the lore, and that's where I really got sucked in these lore about these characters, man. The different groups who are fighting each other, and it has a lot of Bleach elements in it too, because everything happens at night, and that's when these hollowed creatures come out, and then there's people with abilities who could only feed them off and stuff like that. But I love it, man. So like, even because I did think like the last one, they did say another character was supposed to be released, but it never happened. So when they brought out this version, like, yeah, it's part 2, because I do see the graphical upgrades, and there's also another game that is very much like Tekken, but like on an anime sprite type of vibe. They add combos, bro. So they add even more depth to like the combat system through that. And just, bro, like the new characters that they added, bro, I was like, bro, just here.
Take my money.
It's like we finally play as the ultimate boss that y'all been hinting about for so long. And bro, like, and yes, he's a Virgil S. Sephiroth character as a master of blades and all type of stuff. But when I saw that trailer, I was like, bro, I don't know how I'm gonna beat this dude, but I have to figure out a way. It just drew me in so deeply, man. And like I said, bro, I think Jory wouldn't really love it because, bro, that art style is really there. When you really get deep into those characters, man, that world, like even like just the background stages, man, it's just like it adds such a flair to me that I just love it, bro. I really love it. And I just hope that it gets the recognition that it deserves for Evo, because it is one of those underground saviors. And that's what a lot of people say during COVID, bro. This game really saved the fighting scene. Like,
No, keep on.
And I gotta give Arc System Works their credit, bro. Like, that was a serious banger, man. Because that game is also what inspired me to buy Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle. Because remember, Cross Tag Battle had Blaze Blue characters, had Undernight characters, had Persona 4 Arena Ultimax characters, and then it also had the one game where they're fighting Ruby, the anime series. So I got into that's the last one. That's the
Keep that
actual.
picture.
That's the last one. Undernight and Birth Clear. So yeah, so like that inspired me to get Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, and then as I learned more about that universe, I bought Persona 4 Arena after that. It's just like it really drew me into like the other games that Arc System Works really pushed out outside of the Blaze Blue saga, and like, bro, these are very interesting worlds, man.
Undernight is Arc System Works?
Yeah.
Arc System Works and French Bread.
Wow. That's crazy.
Do you feel like this game, or maybe this particular version of the game, is going to do for the Undernight series, especially in Evo, what Evo did for Skullgirls? Where like Skullgirls was kind of like under the radar, and then Evo kind of like elevated Skullgirls out of cult status.
Well, Undernight has already has a stronger, like, it showed that it didn't need Evo to survive. Because to be honest, bro, like I said, remember when PlayStation opened up those tournaments from your system? Bro, this is one of the top games that people played. Like, it shows it has a very strong following already, and then, you know, they just brought some new life into it, like the three new characters that they've introduced, and then, you know, they already released the roadmap to the new ones. But like, it's just, this game has a lot to really offer, bro. It really does. It really does. Like, I've seen some crazy matches with this, like that, like, it's just like, bro, it's like it's hard to really describe it, bro. But like, the characters have such, like, you see the archetypes, but you also see the variety within those archetypes. Like, there's one grappler dude, he can literally grab you across the whole stage.
I think I get it.
And just like literally just like drag you across, like, and the way he moves, it kind of just like when he's dashing with you in the palm of his hand, it kind of reminded me of like Juggernaut, when you used to call that assist of Juggernaut back in Marvel vs. Capcom. Here comes this big raging mega bullet across the stage.
I thought you
and
were
that's
show
why,
like Sword Art Online or something.
like, no, this is Fate Stay Night, and this is why I have a problem with Undernight too. I can't get into it, man. That's all I think about.
Well, bro, you're going based off aesthetic, bro. You got to play it, bro.
No. But they like, you said it, right? There's characters that have and this is that. This is Fate Stay Night, the fighting game.
Nah, you can't call it that. Can't call it that, bro. Can't call it that. Trust me, I will defend this game, bro. This game.
Hey, man, it's fire. It's fire. I believe you, man. I know a lot of people been talking about it.
Like,
Justin Wong loves it.
Yeah, I haven't seen enough footage of it to like give an opinion to, you know, another way. Like, I know, like, again, Timmy, you've been hyping up for a while, so I'm like, I wanted you to have like the runway to talk about it now that it's actually out. The fact that the mandatory,
and this will be our homework.
Okay.
When Evo comes around, bro, like, and you know they're gonna save it to YouTube. Watch those fights, bro, and also watch the crowd reception, and also hear the announcers talk about the characters, man. Because I feel like that's where it all comes together. Like, the way they go in depth about these characters, like, it's just it's a very fascinating world, man. It really is, and I love it. It really is, and it deserves to be there. And I'm glad that it's getting that recognition it deserves. And that it goes back to what I said, bro. Like, that last slot, I would have given it to Skullgirls. Like, there's just certain games where you see that effort is there that you wish that these bigger publishers would do.
Gotcha. Like the smaller detail type.
Yeah, bro. It's there, bro.
Cliches.
It is there. Because even for you, Anthony, like how you said, a lot of these games, where are the offline options? Undernight has plenty to give you. Time attack this, or even in terms of like what you would like to do in practice mode, bro. Like, there's a lot of options available for you.
Okay. I'll have to do my homework, and I'll have to be glued into Evo and kind of see, you know, just certain things flying on the radar. There's a lot happening at all times. My attention, you know, has been solely glued in on our next topic, so it's been hard for me to focus on much of anything other than give me just one more morsel, one more smidgen of info when it comes to my game of the year that drops in a couple of weeks. That being said, there was finally the state of play dedicated 45 straight minutes dedicated to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And I watched every minute of it. I watched Maximilian Dude talk about it without talking about it because he didn't want to spoil himself. I've watched podcasts dedicated to the breakdown of the footage. The demo was out. I downloaded and played it immediately. The collector's edition is already pre-ordered. You know, it'll be on its way as soon as it's available, and I will have my second collector's edition of the game. And I'll say, you know, obviously I'll give my thoughts first. I keep going back to this. Like, I think it's refreshing to see developers aware of what the fans are looking for. You know, it kind of reminds me, like, when I watch the footage, like, it reminds me when I hear you guys talk about the Resident Evil remakes of, like, you don't want a 1-for-1 because why would you? Like George says all the time, I have the game already. If I want a 1-for-1, I'll just go play it again. But I want something that still plays homage to the source material while also expanding on some ideas that maybe just didn't make it to the cutting room floor at that time, right? Maybe there was like some certain things of like, man, I would have, as a developer, I would have loved to have added this mission to this game. Or, you know, looking back on this character, I don't think I got across what I wanted, you know, with this character. Or, you know, like, again, I don't know too much about Resident Evil, but I know they're like, oh, the way they did Leon's relationship with, what's her name? Alice, right? The little girl? Is her name Alice? It's like Alice is like not nearly as annoying as she was in the original game. But just certain things where it's like you can tell that they Ashley,
yeah,
right?
Ashley.
It's like you could just tell that they
stone this man.
That's why I said disclaimer: I don't know Resident Evil. Ashley. I think that's kind of how I felt about Final Fantasy VII. It's like they're aware that yes, people have wanted to see something better than those ugly block sprites from 1997. For such a good game and such a good story for such a long time. But also, if it was a 1-for-1, what would be the point of a trailer? What would be the point of watching this trailer of the game? Like, I know exactly what happens. Whereas with this trailer, because they've changed the story in some people's eyes in a controversial way, I don't think so as much. It's just like, I can still play this game, still see my childhood imagination be on a big screen in HD, while also not fully knowing what's happening. And not only that, even if it was a 1-for-1, like, it's such a refreshing combat system of like, in my adult life, my time with turn-based RPGs is just like, it's almost over, right? When they talk about like, oh man, this latest Persona, it's just 100 hours of the turn-based combat. I'm like, 18-year-old me would have been all over it. 34-year-old me don't have the time. Even with them saying Rebirth has about 100 hours of content, I'm like, so I'll be playing it till 2025 because I am an adult.
You gotta hit him with the bison thumbs down, dog.
That's what I'm saying, right? It's just like at a certain point in your life, you're just like, I'd even rebought 7 on the Switch because again, man, them eShop sales sometimes, you know, I'm not gonna lie, they give you some pretty good discounts. Even on the eShop playing 7 on the Switch, I had to speed up the combat. I had to like put in like the little mods they put in. Like, I'm like, I can't just do random encounter after random encounter at my big age. I can't. This is 3 discs of content that took me all summer as a kid. I don't got it in me, but I want to kind of refresh myself on the story. And it's just like, it's just beautiful to me to see that they can take such a beloved cast of characters where, again, in the original concept, it was this guy does a sword swing, this guy does a spear stab, this guy shoots you, and give them all unique mechanics. Like, Jory, I don't know if you played the Yuffie DLC yet. Have you had a chance to play the Yuffie DLC? I know you had downloaded it.
Oh, I didn't even beat Final Fantasy, man. I'm at the place where I'm underneath a tunnel with Aerith. Underneath a highway. We just made it to the gate of this location.
Okay, so you're about at the halfway point. But you still got a ways.
Of the game?
Of the game, yeah.
Well, yeah, we like about to meet that B man, that very eccentric B guy. I don't know what he is, the owner, the stripper man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you got a ways to go, bro.
We trying to get there. Okay,
you still got a ways to go. But even with that, it's like once you get to the Yuffie DLC, it's just like it's the fact that they're like, yo, with Yuffie, you know, with all these other characters, you have to cast materia, right? You have to use a fire spell, an electric spell, ice spell. They're like, Yuffie's a ninja. she uses ninjutsu. Just switch her ninjutsu style, and you could use fire, lightning, or ice. Oh, yeah. Why wouldn't I do that with Yuffie? Like, that just makes sense. I don't have to use her as the generic, okay, you're going to carry ice, Aerith is going to carry wind, Tifa's going to carry fire. It's like, no, Yuffie can do it all because she uses a shuriken and she's a ninja. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like seeing the state of play, seeing the synergy attacks, seeing the fact that they're not afraid to be silly. You know, when Tifa hits the wolf style fang over fang with Red 13, I'm like, this looks ridiculous, but I'm here for it. Aerith putting on the sunglasses with Barret, I'm like, this looks ridiculous, but I'm here for it. Cloud riding a Segway, you know what I'm saying? Them wearing the little beach clothes, I'm here for it. If you play the original Final Fantasy VII, it's ridiculous. There's so many moments in that game where I'm like, this is kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? So like, I love that they're embracing it. I love that I don't know what's going to happen fully. I love that they're kind of doubling down on what works. I will say with the demo, I'm a little skeptical in terms of their open world. There was, even though it was a little bit more linear for that portion, I was like, this does kind of give me Final Fantasy 16 vibes in terms of like a lot of empty space with a lot of really cool visual cues, but not much to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things where it's like, I get it that we've kind of moved away from the random encounter in these type of games, but it's just like, all right, here's 5 monsters for this area. They don't respawn. There's no hidden area with more monsters, really. It's like, once you kind of beaten them, you have to progress to the level. And I'm just like, I don't know how this works for another 40-hour, quote-unquote, open world story. So that's kind of my thoughts. Playing as Sephiroth was amazing. I think that they did a really good job of fleshing out his moveset to the point that I'm like, I doubt this will be the only time you play as him in the game. And they have like a time mode where you get to play as him. I can't wait till the 29th. So that's been my thoughts. What about you guys?
I'll go back to the comment about remakes, man. That is exactly what I would like to see when it comes to remakes or remasters. Because I kind of feel like this is like a very good pinnacle version to really base off of. Like, you're just expanding. And then, like, you know, and then go back to remakes, I would definitely say, like, what they did with Resident Evil 2 and 4. Like, I was just so wild about these games, man. It's just like, thank you. Like, this is a real, true level up. In terms of gameplay, story elements, even new character designs, of which we seen that it translates to other properties. Because, you know, if you saw Resident Evil Death Island, you saw a lot of similarities. I was like, oh yeah, y'all just bringing these character designs everywhere. Mm-hmm. Even though the story don't make sense, but yeah,
at all.
Because, like, to be honest, bro, like, I have a feeling that you know, they probably might re-release Advent Children.
Oh, 1,000%.
Like as a, like, you know, like a Blu-ray or anime release or something like that. Like, it's coming.
I heard part 3 is gonna go into Advent Children.
I mean, they've hinted at it more than a few times that, like, they've asked them directly, like, would you want to do Advent Children again? They're like, yeah, not in a movie, but yeah, we want to do it again. I'm like, oh, so it's gonna be in a game.
yeah, because like, you know, just like that, especially like those scenes with the remnants, bro. It's just like it's there, and then especially, like I said, with the new combat, bro, the highway scenes with them fighting and stuff like that, bro. It's coming. It's obviously coming.
That was great. That, I ain't gonna lie. That fight scene. What's his name? Not I forgot his name. With the red bike.
The red bike?
Yeah, he had a red bike. He was a soldier. I'm gonna say
Roche,
because he reminded me of Whis. Yeah, Roche Whis. Yeah.
He reminds me of he reminds me of one of the remnants from Advent Children, the one with the spiky hair, the one that used a little like hand thing that fought Tifa. It's the same guy, but just as a soldier. Like that whole like
body Tifa.
Embarrassed her, bro. But yeah, even him coming back in the trailer where you see him like flying motorcycle first towards Cloud. I'm like, oh, I can't wait. Yeah. I can't wait.
No, it was good. It was good. I mean, for me, this is like I've never beaten Final Fantasy VII, man. I don't even know what the story like because I couldn't do turn based, man. My favorite Final Fantasy is probably 10.
10's
because
good.
that was just different. It was a little depressing.
A little.
Super depressing, like the Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
But yeah. Once you start getting into the Kingdom Hearts territory, like nobody, I lose interest, man, because it's like
no more.
It's too depressing for me to continue playing, man.
To be honest, I do feel like the success of these Final Fantasy remakes, I do foresee Dissidia is going to return. It's wishful thinking, but I'll be that person. Mm-hmm. It's like, bro, it's too big to pass up, bro. It really is,
and it's gonna do good.
The thing is,
it's gonna sell.
I could see them doing Dissidia, but it's gonna take a couple more remakes. Like when they did like The Stranger in Lost Paradise, which was basically like a remake of Final Fantasy 1, right? It's like it did pretty well and it was received pretty well, but Dissidia is like a love letter, at least at that time, for games 1 through 13, right? So I don't think off of the strength of Final Fantasy 7 alone can you launch Dissidia.
And please, we do not need. Actually, you know what? Let me not say that.
That's what I'm gonna say. Like, I'm like, I can see it happening, but I'm like, they're gonna have to at least remake 10, at least remake 8. Like, there's a couple of key games. Like, people love 6. There's a couple of games that they would have to kind of like reapproach for this new generation of gamers who, like, I've never played Final Fantasy. I don't know who these characters are.
You think they'll ever remake 13?
So people like Lightning as a character. It's just everything else about it, including the supporting cast, was just so wonky. Like, I'll never forget, I was in college the day 13 came out. My roommate bought it because I was just on the fence about it. And I'm watching the characters like become the summon. Like when Lightning like became Odin, I was like, what is this? This is Final Fantasy 13?
No, it's Digimon.
Right, and I just went into my room. I never came back downstairs to see how it played out.
What season of Digimon was that, man? A Goodymon? A Foodymon? Yeah. Global Kindlemon? My goodness.
Yeah, you know, it's like, I think 13 would be kind of tricky because it's just like the game mechanics are just so wonky. Of like, you become Shiva. It's like, I don't think so. You know, like I don't think I want to do that in a game ever again. Even 8 had a weird mechanic system where it's like the more the stronger you got in 8, the harder the game got.
8 in a coffin. That put 8 in a coffin.
It did, but the thing is though, 8 has fire character designs. Squall.
Oh, it does.
Gunblade.
Yeah, it does. And the name is raw.
Yeah, the name is Squall Leonhardt. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, you
can't. You know, like it's hard to deny a design like that and a name like that. I think Dissidia is like. I think it can happen, but it's a ways off because you have to find a way to reintroduce these characters to a new audience. Why would I care about any unless it's going to be Dissidia Final Fantasy 7? That'd be pretty much.
I hope they don't do 9. I hope they don't remake 9.
People like 9 though. I didn't like 9.
I don't know. They're not gonna like 9's revamp because it's like, yo, I'm playing as what, Astro Boy, Astro Boy Final Fantasy, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Playing as I don't even know how he describes Zidane.
Pinocchio
Goku.
story?
Yeah, like Goku with the dagger.
Pinocchio Goku? No, man.
Goku with the dagger and tail. It was weird. Yeah.
If you do that, you gotta make 9 like here's guys. Hey, for you guys who want 9, these are Strangers in Paradise formula. Enjoy. Cause it's not for me. I'm not. Once they told me about 9 and you told me the premise of the story, I like, yo, retire that.
Yeah.
Retire that.
Yeah.
Retire that. Because 8 and 10, 10's world is imagine 10's world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, and 10's world, 10's character design. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. You got Dar with the glasses, the first Kakashi before Kakashi. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? With the one arm and the like, 10's world is gonna be ridiculous, man. You had that water sword that he had.
Yeah.
I mean, what, like, and you had Lionel. You feel me? Blue Lionel. Like, what, like, y'all gotta be crazy for not going for it, man. Y'all gotta be crazy for not going for it.
I could see 10 being the next remake. honestly, especially when there's that long-running theory that 10 is actually set in the same world as 7, just in the future. There's been this long theory that like 10 is actually the same. They're connected. Like there's a couple of Easter eggs that hint that like 10 is just 7's world way down the road, in like a futuristic world.
That's interesting.
So I want 8 though. I do want 8.
I want 8 also, but 8 because the story is just wonky. It's so wonky.
But with 8, they could fix it. They just fix it, and now people will have a complete product. I think so. With 8, you have more liberty to have more freedom to make stuff. I think 8 will be because 8 has the same problem Code Veronica has. Right?
But do you guys think that Square Enix is going to kind of become like the new Capcom, where they're just going to be running back remakes left and right, and
it's only going to be for a season. It's only going to be for a season.
I don't think. So.
I don't think so.
I think
it's only going to be for a season.
No, it's going to be indefinitely. And I'm going to tell you why. Think about it. Everything else that Square Enix has done that wasn't Final Fantasy related has flopped. Everything else. Like, they're the ones that weren't they the publisher of Tomb Raider, right?
Yeah.
It was developed. I think Crystal Dynamics developed it, and Square Enix put it out.
Tomb Raider was good,
but it didn't sell that well.
Oh well, because they changed
standards though.
Yeah, for real.
To their standards.
That was unrealistic. They did great. Tomb Raider did great, and 2 is the best one.
It is the best one.
Yes, Rise of the Tomb Raider was the best one. It was basically how Uncharted Among Thieves was the best one out of the entire 4.
Yeah, like I don't understand these guys' numbers. They want instantaneous returns, but that's not what you guys used last time to survive as a company. So why are you having these unrealistic margins for whatever investor you have? It's working. You're making just as much progress as you would have if you had those old business models. That's why these Hollywood movies say they flopped, because they didn't reach a certain numbers in a couple of days. No, go back to your old system. You're still winning.
But I think that's why, to answer Tim's question, I do think that's why they're going to be a remake company for a while. I agree with you guys. I think there's the metrics that we look at it at of like, sure, this might not have been a runaway success, but it was a success versus the metrics they have for themselves. However unreasonable it may be, right? Where it's like Tomb Raider is like, it might have been a successful franchise to us, to the general public. I'm sure there's close studios right now that would have loved Tomb Raider's numbers, but for whatever reason, Square is just like, not good enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then let's not even talk about Avengers, which was a flop. You guys were the publisher of that game, and it did not sell well. I could have told you that game was going flatline. Of course, but to go back to Tim's question, that's why they end up becoming a remake company. Final Fantasy 16, quote unquote, underperformed.
Oh well, Final Fantasy 16 underperformed,
but it didn't. It sold well.
It sold well the first day because we thought, right? Then people was like, "Hey, no, guys. Keep your money. Save your money." I was literally a protester. They was like, hey, man, it's Final Fantasy 16. Should I get it, Jory?
Yeah. I would.
Why not? I said, well, okay, because it's not better than Final Fantasy 15 as far as exploration, right? I thought I was going to get 15 on steroids with the set pieces, with the icons, but I didn't get that. You give me these vast worlds, this Game of Thrones storyline, right? Okay, I'll buy it, but I can't do anything in the world.
15, that was originally supposed to be at 13.
Yeah.
Versus, yeah, it was supposed to be 13 versus, but they have.
And then 14 was the MMO. I was like, bro, is my boy Noctis ever gonna live? Like, but then 15 came around.
And then he's just Sasuke. Let's be real.
He is.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So with 15's then you drop Forspoken, and y'all could have had the mechanics in Forspoken be a character, and y'all could have implemented some of the mechanics in Forspoken and tied it up with this new Final Fantasy. Y'all wasted Forspoken's exploration. She could do all these cool things. I'm like, yo, why couldn't this be Final Fantasy with me?
The spell system in that game is actually really, really good. I don't know if you guys ever seen it.
And that's what I'm saying.
It's really good.
And that's what I'm saying. And I'm like, yo, why didn't y'all just take Forspoken and turn it to Final Fantasy? And then y'all would have had something to give people. The exploration, the people want to explore in these games. When people say they hate open world, it's because there's nothing to do. Mm-hmm. When you give us an open world where there's stuff to do, like I can go on this mountaintop. And then to be honest with you, that's why people like Breath of the Wild. Some people like, yo, I'm just trying to find out. And Breath of the Wild is kind of bare bones because of the technology, right? But Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom is a by far superior game to Breath of the Wild. And you could do whatever you can explore this place. Now imagine that level of depth and exploration with people and NPCs to interact with. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be fun. It should have been Final Fantasy, Skyrim, Devil May Cry. Then you would have scratched everybody's itch. And even if you didn't go Devil May Cry route and was more like into a Tales of Arise or Final Fantasy VII, I'd have been okay with that too. Just pick who you wanted to be. Like, don't give me a Devil May Cry game and nerf me. It's stupid. Like, you know what I'm saying? You giving me all, because the Devil May Cry action director's on board? I'm like, man, what kind of combos can I? But then you lock my combos in. Devil May Cry never survived off of that. They survived off of giving you the variety of combinations, right? I don't feel like none of these weapons.
1, 2, 3, 4 icon blast and rinse and repeat.
Rinse and repeat, and it's just like, okay,
sword is there.
No status effect.
Yeah,
no status
members.
effect. No satisfaction of, oh man, if I get this weapon with this weapon, I can take out this enemy even quicker. There's no satisfaction to that. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. And it's just like, and then you got the same combos. I'm not a one button mechanic, one button press guy. I lose my mind very fast.
Which is why I think Rebirth is just that breath of fresh air, right? I'm playing as Sephiroth, and again, his because everyone has a unique button, right? Because again, to your point, Jory, I think they realize like you can't just square, right? It gets boring. So they're like, here's this unique action that every character has that makes them distinct. And Sephiroth has a build-up mechanic, whereas like the more successful hits you have, he has a finisher that goes with that. If you play a more defensive style and you do parries and perfect blocks, his finisher changes. You know, so like they have these different things where it's like, and that's before you get to the synergy skills, before you get to his long range attacks. I'm just like, damn, this is just for a cameo character in the opening of the game. From the same company.
I'm back to my point, man. You see, look, because for me, the team that did Resident Evil 3, if I could find those guys, because I like 3 for me, man. There was a lot of good cinematography direction, but you took away the very importance of what Resident Evil 3 was. And this is a tangent, but this is only to like build upon my point.
No, but I get what you mean. Yeah, because I know which part you're talking about, and I was
Nemesis not chasing me. The clock tower scene. Nemesis not chasing me throughout the game. You should have You already had the builds. You should have constructed the game to where like, yo, and I wouldn't have not cared if y'all let me go revisit back to where Leon was, and then Nemesis is chasing me through there. Because we are already in the same area, because it's a remake anyway, and you need to make this make sense in this world. That's one of the liberties and changes that should have taken place, which would have made the remake of Resident Evil 3 mind-boggling. Then you continue on, you know, because Nemesis now, it was just scripted. You can't do that to a character who is literally chasing you throughout the game. Because I'm expecting, Mr. X was an amazing addition to part 2. And now I gotta deal with Nemesis who uses firearms? Oh man, sign me up. None of that present. Crazy. Imagine Sephiroth, right? But now Sephiroth doesn't even look like it's crazy.
Resident Evil 3 Remake was DLC to part 2 that they just
DLC to part 2. They just sold. That's what they should have just did. I've been okay. Give me the Ada Wong DLC. I've been alright, man. But to go back to Final Fantasy, that's the problems I had with 16, man. And then with Final Fantasy Rebirth, I did play a little bit. I just didn't get as deep as I didn't play the whole entire demo because I said, oh, you know what? Let me beat 7 because what I'm able to do in this game, I don't even want to go back to 7, man.
Exactly.
So that's why I held off.
First, yeah.
That's why I held off. And 16,
all of the combat issues in chapter 1.
I'm gonna beat 16 in 2025 because I'm gonna wait till what they do. Because that statement that they made where it was like, yeah, Square Enix is now revamping the way they make games. I'm like, yeah.
That's why
16 could have been easily solvable, man.
They're gonna make it's gonna be a remake company, bro. They're gonna put. I'm telling you, and this is because we always prophesy basically what's gonna happen with these games. What's gonna happen is we gotta do a compilation, bro. We gotta give ourselves an award, man, because we've been 0 for 2, 2 for 0. We've been like we bullet passes every single time to like how it plays out.
What's the quarterback that just won, man? Kansas City, Kansas City out here, man. You feel me? So
I think what happens with Rebirth is it's gonna drop. It's gonna do really, really well. Like I told you guys in the group chat, I can't even find the Best Buy exclusive collector's edition. I had to settle for Target. I can't find it in Best Buy. They won't sell it to me.
Wow.
It's gone. It's done. It sold out a month before the game release. So that's a sign that it's gonna do well, and that's just in the physical market. We're not even talking about the digital storefront.
And to be honest, guys, let's be honest, right? Let's be honest. If we get, let's say, a Resident Evil 8, right? And we're like, oh, remake it. Wow.
I do not want a remake of 8.
Wow. Why not?
To be honest, bro, and this is something I told Anthony a while ago, I could have felt like the Resident Evil story could have ended with 5.
No, not Resident Evil. I'm talking about Final Fantasy.
Oh, but you said Resident Evil 8.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Final Fantasy. I'm sorry, I was thinking Final Fantasy. No, Resident Evil 8 is great. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
You just said Resident Evil. Fantasy. You just said Resident Evil.
I was thinking about 8. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's great. That's it.
Like, what?
Yeah, my bad. Final Fantasy 8. That's what I meant to say. Final Fantasy 8. Imagine if Square Enix made a Final Fantasy 8, and we're like, oh, we don't want the remake, da. But then after that, if what is working for them gives them the ability so that they don't die, they got to do what they got to do.
Yeah.
If this is working, they got to do what they got. I'm here for it as long as they do titles that I care, because I would hate for them to do a 9 and that, because I don't think 9 is going to sell, even though people like it. The characters aren't aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah. They
so because if I'm an outsider looking in, do you want to know why I wanted to play Final Fantasy 7? Because Cloud looked cool. Everybody look cool.
They all look cool. All of them.
They all look cool, right? You got a fighter chick with overalls and a skirt and red gloves.
Also, because of the cosplay community. You know how many times I've seen the Buster that sword, bro?
The Buster sword is too iconic, right? Mm-hmm. And now, right? If you do 8, and I'm looking at, this is the next installment of Final Fantasy. This guy got a chinchilla jacket on with a gunblade.
With a gunblade.
And if y'all gonna do Advent Children, y'all setting yourselves up. Am I lying?
No. Yeah.
Y'all setting yourselves up, right? Y'all gonna have Vincent there. Y'all setting yourselves up, man.
That's what I'm gonna say. Speaking of Vincent, what I see happening is Rebirth drops. It does well. It's gonna be the game that they push for the rest of this year, for sure. Patches on patches, graphical updates and improvements, quality of life changes, the works. A year from now, they drop DLC because it's just the modern gaming world. And I realized, I was like, you know what? In Rebirth, Sid and Vincent aren't playable. They're NPCs. They're in the game, and they kind of show up like, I guess, to spoil Jory a little bit. Red 13 joins your party towards the end of Remake, but you can't control him.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. So you just I
saw. Yeah, I saw everything. Don't worry.
So like that's what they're gonna do for Vincent and Sid in this game, which I think is a little bit of a stretch. Especially given Sid's role and everything that happens in the original story. I'm like, so they're gonna have to push back a lot of Sid's storyline, basically, because a lot of his content takes place during this portion of the game. But whatever.
We're gonna get a Dirge of Cerberus.
That's what I'm saying. The DLC will be Vincent. That's my prediction. The DLC makes Vincent Valentine playable. 1,000%.
And you can't fail this time. You can't fail.
And it won't. It won't. Because
if it play like Forspoken, it's a wrap.
And because imagine, bro, his unique action or his limit break, you're transforming into the beast forms with a whole new moveset. I get to change. I get to change into Jason with the chainsaw. I get to change into the beast with the fire orbs. I get to change into basically Dracula's monster. You know what I'm saying? Like
butter and bread.
Yeah, I'm like Rebirth is already paving again, depending on how well it's received story wise, right? Because you have the purists again, like I can't believe they changed whatever it is. I hate it.
No. The purists need to drink water and milk.
But the thing is, okay. Just for argument's sake, and we'll kind of wrap up this segment on it. For argument's sake, is like I said before we started the podcast, I wish that I could trust in Tetsuya Nomura the way you guys trust in Hideo Kojima. I wish I could.
Gotcha.
I wish I could have blind faith. But like Hideo Kojima raised y'all, Tetsuya Nomura raised me. And to appreciate him, you also have to realize his flaws. When you've been a fan for someone for so long, and you've seen the way he can sometimes take an idea a little bit too far if you don't rein him back in, aka anything after Kingdom Hearts 2 with the Kingdom Hearts series, it's hard to say, hey, we're changing some things from your beloved childhood series, knowing this is the man who birthed all of this, because you just start getting the PTSD of Kingdom Hearts of like the nobody concept and the heartless concept, and then you're just like, please stop, please. Stop. There was already a couple signs like in the Yuffie DLC where they introduced some deep ground characters, which kind of goes into the Dirge of Cerberus, right? You end up fighting a boss who's been getting experimented on by Shinra, and he basically, for lack of a better term, it's a little bit deeper than this, but just for Kingdom Hearts analogy wise, he basically has the power of darkness. So it gives you like, you know, that Anthem Kingdom Hearts 1 of like, I embrace the powers of darkness and now I have these ambiguous powers that don't really make sense in this world, but I'm also a Nomura creation. So
well, to be fair, those 3 Sephiroths that fused together to create Sephiroth, it was a level 1 Sephiroth before they digivolve.
Nomura.
Hey, but hey, it's gonna make more sense now.
Will it? And that's that. And that's why I agree with y'all. I'm like, I think the purists need to chill out, right? I'm like, the original game's always there if you really need it. But I'm like, if you've been a fan for this man for so long, I don't want to bash him. Obviously, he's given us iconic character designs. Like you said, the Buster Blade is iconic. He's given us like timeless characters in this world. It's just like you can't leave him unchecked. Every time I think back of him wanting to initially give Sora from Kingdom Hearts a tail, I'm like, you cannot let this man just do whatever he wants.
No. And to a degree, Kojima, yeah, you're right. They're probably the same guy, because Kojima wanted to put a tail on Raiden, and his artist said, I'm leaving the company if you do it. Yeah. He said, I'm leaving the company if you do that to Raiden.
Yeah. So I'm optimistic. Obviously, I'm getting the game. I think combat-wise, mechanics-wise, whatever story misgivings happen, it will make up for it in that way. I just hope there isn't too much of this, like even with the whole Whispers things, which I'm sure you're experiencing for the first time, Jory, where like the Whispers try to course correct the story. I'm like, I wasn't as mad at it as other people were. Of like, this is technically
the floating
like
the ghost
things from like Harry Potter, the plot ghost.
It helped the plot make sense.
Because it's a sequel.
I wasn't mad.
It's a sequel.
Yeah,
not
I
a
wasn't
reboot.
mad.
Yeah, Remake is technically a sequel to Final Fantasy VII. It's not a reboot, not a proper reboot. So like, I'm not mad. I'm not as mad at that as other people were when it comes to that game. I just think, again, you have to have somebody who's just like, great idea. If we could just ground it just a bit with him, that's all it is. I love where you're going. I love where your headspace is. Let's just, hey, buddy, hey. Hey.
I think he has that this
back
time.
on the ground.
I think he has that. I think he has that this time, though.
Okay.
Because 7 remake could have been.
I mean, it has certain moments. If you want to talk a little spoiler,
yikes.
Yeah. If you want to talk a little spoilery, there's a part towards the end where I was like, uh oh. There's a part where, I mean, do you care?
Well, King of the Conqueror syndrome.
Nah, do you care?
Nah, I already seen the game already.
Okay. So there's two parts towards the end of the game where one, they temporarily killed Barrett in the Shinra headquarters. Like Sephiroth
I've seen that.
And I was just like, oh no. And then the plot ghost revived him. And I'm like, oh no. And then towards the end of the game, where you fight fate to break free of history repeating itself, and you fight the amalgamation of the 3 Sephiroth remnants at the end of the game, and then you fight Sephiroth at the end of the game, and your brain starts to think, I'm like, okay, let me get this straight. This is the same Cloud who had to reinvent the Buster Sword to beat Sephiroth, who had to jump Sephiroth 7-on-1 to even stand a chance in the original game. And I'm watching the cutscene of Sephiroth throwing buildings at the squad, Barrett shooting down debris, Cloud's cutting through it like butter. I'm just like, this is game 1 now. This is game 1. So if we're doing this now, you have a cutscene at the end of the game where Sephiroth warps Cloud to the end of the universe to have a conversation with him. I'm like, oh, oh no. I don't know if this is a hallucination. I don't know if I'm supposed to take this literally. I don't know. And that's why I say, like,
goodness, the
we need
pressure
someone
is
to
on
put
you, boy.
his both feet on the ground of like, please don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. When you, I'm like, man, what if part 2 isn't good, man?
So there is that part in the back of my head of like, I hope they don't like double down on that like metaphorical, thing where.
Oh no, he gotta leave the Kingdom Hearts bag alone. Dog.
That's what I'm saying. But that's his thing. That is his thing. He lives and dies by that. Like, here's this metaphorical thing of like, here's Sephiroth and Cloud having this conversation, which could just be a mental conversation, right? I don't have a problem with that. But if this is supposed to have a literal meaning of like, Sephiroth's powers have now evolved for him to be able to warp to the end of the universe, what does that mean for the franchise? If they're fighting him off at the end of the first game, what happens?
No, they gotta definitely talk to the Justice League on how they deal with those universal cosmic.
Yeah, at that point it turns into Gurren Lagann. At that point, remember when they're at the end of Gurren Lagann where they're fighting with universes?
And just throwing the frisbee,
throwing galaxies, bro. I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening?
And then he stepped on a galaxy, to step on another galaxy outside the galaxy, and just and then this a robot.
Yeah.
This a Megazord.
Right, put together by willpower.
And Zordon.
By human spirit.
Jeez.
Yeah. Oh, man. Nomura, I would love to meet him. He's inspired so much of my childhood, but left unchecked, it is not good. It's not good.
Okay, but luckily, it reeled it in.
Yes.
And it landed.
Yes.
The plane landed.
Enough where I'm like, I think Rebirth might still be fire flames story-wise as well.
Okay.
So,
because I know Zach is still alive, so I mean, with all this multi-dimensional things, man, I am worried.
As you should be.
Because I mean, I feel like the story's gonna be good, so I'm not really too worried, man. I feel like it's Kansas City Chiefs versus the 49ers, man, and after that, Kansas City pulls it off with Patrick Mahomes.
Maybe.
You know? So
maybe. But then there's also there's that part in the back of your head of like, maybe this was all rigged, and because Taylor Swift won Album of the Year, her boyfriend now has to win the Super Bowl because money. Right? There's also that part of just like, there's a part where like the capitalistic part just kind of supersedes the need for just great things to naturally happen, and it all just goes left.
Oh, then part 3,
right?
It's in the coffin.
Right.
Like, yeah, they can't afford to do that. If they do that, it's in the coffin.
Right.
Like, listen,
the end of 2, the
CD
worlds
Projekt
blend. You see Sora's Kingdom Key come flying out of nowhere. Zach picks it up and just like, oh no.
like, yeah, okay, listen. I'm gonna say this again. CD Projekt Red, all these examples, even to a degree, Grand Theft Auto, even if if Grand Theft Auto messes up, I'm telling you, the people, the amount of love that they got, Terminator mode. You cannot do this in this medium like you think you can. Microsoft was almost thrown out the window because of some alleged rumors that they did not confirm yet.
Right, which we won't speak on until they do their press conference. I don't want to get
people were already bringing out the Acme weapons, TNT, and for me myself, I'm like, man, why am I doing this to myself? I'm looking in the mirror, man, like, and I forget it. I'm out the window, dog.
Yeah,
I'm out the window.
Okay.
But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, unless you guys have any more final thoughts on the game, but that's.
I think it's gonna be good, man. I think it's gonna be good. I'm not worried too much.
What you think of the IGN rating is gonna be?
8 out of 10.
Because I always laugh at those.
Yeah, 8 out of 10. They're gonna.
What was Final Fantasy VII?
8 out of 10.
Remake.
8 out of 10. They're gonna.
That game's a 9, man.
Here's the thing with Remake.
8.5?
8.5 for me. There's a couple parts where it's like, because they only focus on Midgar, where they have to throw in some filler, and there's some part of the filler that's fire, and other parts where I'm like, please kill me. Like where it's like it's
with the cats,
with the cat with the cats.
Oh, dog.
There's a part where I think you're at that part now, or you're about to get that, or you might have just finished that part, Jory, with Aerith and the crane, where you're moving the crane pieces. Kill me.
And then I'm trying to get a materia, it won't let me go back to get the materia.
Mm-hmm.
I'm punching the sky.
Mm-hmm. There was a couple parts of the remake where it's filler to the point of like, wow, you guys just did not know what else to put here.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, that Buster Gundam fight was trash though. I was getting mad, kid.
I mean, what else could they have done with that fight? It's exactly how the fight was in the original game. There's not much they could have done.
Yeah, I mean, let me fight on a platform or something, dog, and he's like hovering the field. Cause dog, fam, I'm on the bridge and the Gundam hand grabbed me, and there's nothing I can do to.
Nothing you can do. Yeah.
Barrett gone.
Yeah.
Tifa gone. And I'm like, yo, y'all boys, what y'all doing, man? And then they had he had the Omega Beam.
Mm-hmm.
What am I supposed to do against the Omega Beam, dog? I can't even block without.
Can't scramble. Can't. Yeah, I know. You think that's bad? You think that's bad? Wait. Just wait. Wait till you start doing the DLC boss fights in that game.
Wow.
Just two boss fights where I was just like, you know what? I don't need that platinum trophy. One, they have you fight Bahamut.
Mm-hmm.
The summon Bahamut. And once you wither down his health to a certain point, he starts releasing an aura that the closer you get to him, the more your health whittles away. Yeah. And he's also on a timer, so if you don't beat him, he does Mega Flare and it kills your party instantly. Then, in the DLC, they redesigned a character from Dirge of Cerberus, who's basically like Dirge of Cerberus version of Sephiroth. He's called Weiss the Immaculate, and his design matches that name. It is beauty.
I heard, man.
He also has a timer, where if you don't beat him, you basically get Zanzu Ketsened to death immediately.
Wow.
It doesn't matter how low his health is. He doesn't get staggered. He doesn't get stunned. You are dead. So,
okay, that's crazy. They had you fighting War Greymon. That's crazy, though.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So, in that retrospect, I was like, I'll take that boss fight any day of the week compared to what I attempted to do. I was like, you know what? I don't need that platinum. I don't. I had a great time. I'm going to go out on a high note, and I'm just going to put this game down. It's fine. So, but yeah, I see it being another 8 out of 10. They're going to find IGN's gonna sing its praises for all 9 minutes of the review, and in the last 5, talk about something with the graphics, something with the story changes, and nitpick about something that they wish would have been done differently. And 8 out of 10. They're not gonna give it a 10 out of 10. There's no way.
Like I couldn't drink a cup of coffee in the game, or go to sleep and look under my sheets, or turn on the night light. Yeah, that's crazy.
They should have fixed this mechanic a little bit better, and that's why I can't give it a 10.
We couldn't pet the chocobos.
Yes.
Chocobos couldn't drink juice.
Yep.
Chocobos didn't eat no food. That's crazy.
I can't believe I can't play Vincent. 1 point deducted. It's like, fam, all right, this is what we're doing.
You know the game is 17 disc. What y'all want? What y'all want?
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. We will revisit this topic. I will be playing it basically up until my wedding. So, I'm looking forward to it. The one last topic I wanted to see if you guys have any thoughts on that Jory mentioned off mic with One Piece. Are you guys intrigued with how the Egghead arc is playing out, given some of the other things that are happening? Do you care? I mean, we're starting to see the beginnings of the anime version of Law versus Blackbeard, which has been nice.
Okay, is the manga good? Because I don't know what's going on. Personally,
I'll let Tim answer that.
I think we should wait for this topic.
Why?
Okay.
Yeah, I think we should wait. Because I would really like to give more, because I haven't really started it yet. So I really want to really get deep into it, because I don't want to be silent about it. So I do feel like, give me at least a week.
Okay. I mean, the Blackbeard vs. Law fight just started.
Can we do a quick of what's going on in the manga? A quick recap, or just fill me in? How do you like the arc so far?
It's definitely not gonna go down as one of the stronger arcs in the time skip. It reminds me a lot. Okay, so you remember when they did the arc where they're introduced to the Smile Factory with Caesar, and it's a lot of that, where it's like it's a lot of world building, but in terms of what's happening, you're just like, wow, this is pretty stupid. The Egghead arc is kind of in that same vein, where it's just like the world building. You want to talk about dialogue boxes? My goodness, it's a lot going on. Of you see all these prototypes that Vegapunk has that he's looking to test to this one is to end poverty. This one is to give all the children in the world shoes. This just all these different things that he's been working on in
Willy
secret.
Wonka. Mm-hmm.
No, literally Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka Pain.
No, yeah, literally
Willy Wonka Pain.
Yeah, Willy Wonka meets Rick and Morty, basically, in terms of creativity. Okay. However, what ends up happening is you get a really good and touching backstory for Kuma, which was just kind of came out of nowhere. Wow, I did not expect to know about Kuma in this manner, and this was really, really good. But also,
just like a toy soldier.
Pretty much. Very much like toy soldier.
That toy soldier thing was crazy. I was tearing up, boy.
Yeah, very much toy soldier. Of wow, this is a compelling. You talk about a father's love for their child. Lord have mercy, this is good. But just
and the diaper man.
yeah. But everything else
they need
is
to retire
just
me, kid.
Everything else just kind of feels very sloppily thrown together, where it's just this is their first time. This is Luffy's first time re-encountering Kizaru after the Marineford arc, and it's just they end up clashing, but it doesn't really make sense. I know it would have been cliche to have Sanji, the kicking fiend, fight Kizaru, the kicking fiend. You know what I'm saying? But it's just watching a Luffy fight Kizaru just doesn't mesh well. It just doesn't
feel organic.
It doesn't.
It doesn't feel organic like not Dodoria, but Deidara versus Sasuke, which was a wild card fight that we did.
To be honest, I feel like if it was Jinbei versus Kizaru, because remember, there's an Arlong connection with them. It would have popped a little bit more, I would say, and then it would also give you more range about what is Jinbei's true level of strength. Can he take on an admiral?
But I think to your point, Tim, is that's also the thing that frustrated me about this fight. If we talked about this with Kaido, right? Of it's still not well established of who's the stronger power? Are the pirate emperors stronger than the admirals? Are they comparable? Because we saw at the end of the Wano arc that new admiral with the tree power, he gets scared by Shang's haki. His haki from like 10 miles away is like, you know what? I think I'm a dip. So you're just like, so are y'all? Is it just Aikinu that's a threat? You know, like where do the admirals, like where does the military and marine power stack up in this pirate world?
I think when it comes to Aikinu, it's his will. Like he's that wild card. Like he don't care who has to get killed. Because like even like if you want to jump back to Marineford, remember Kizaru had his hands up with Shanks's first mate. He didn't move because he knew that he was about to get that sea stone shotgun to the head.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. It's like I think again having Luffy fight Kizaru, it's just like, okay, I get it. You had to use Gear 5 to like really fight Kizaru on equal footing. But again, is Kizaru like, so if I had Kizaru sent to capture Kaido, is that even a fight that like should I be invested as a fan? Like oh man, like Kizaru might actually pull it off. I don't know. And since the nature of Gear 5 is just it's silly, right? It's like it's hard for me to be like, are they fighting for real? Is this like, what are the stakes here? Is Luffy just trying to buy his crew time to get away? Is this like, if he beats Kizaru here, is Kizaru like KO'd for good? Like I'm so at a loss as to what's happening.
No, I don't think that'll ever happen. I feel like it's just like a filler in action arc. Like how like when Kuma sent everybody away, remember? It was like, remember when Relay showed up and he basically deflected his whole kick. I just feel like it's something like for filler. Because I do feel like these admirals, especially this new set, I feel like they're all going to go out in a way, or if they do, like it's going to be something more. It's going to be more climatic.
Yeah, like it's some bigger fights. I think so too, but that's what I'm saying. Like that's why like I feel this arc has been like the Caesar Smile Factory arc of like there's stuff happening, but it's just not. It's not monumental in the way of like, oh man, I can't wait for this next chapter to drop. All of the interesting things, I'm not gonna even exaggerate, you guys, have happened either off screen or with lesser characters. So in the manga, Blackbeard fighting Law is off screen. You don't even get to see the beginning and the end. And I'm like, this, why would I not want to see this fight? Right? That happens. Kid ends up running into Shanks. Mostly off screen. Some of it's on screen. I told you guys about it in the chat a little bit, but mostly off screen. Garp goes to Blackbeard's island.
Off screen.
Off screen, except for a couple of fights.
He
goes to Blackbeard's island to rescue Kobe.
That's like Jiraiya going to Payne's country off screen.
To be honest, it kind of felt that way.
Yeah, it kind of feels that way. You're just like, what?
Yeah, that's wild, man.
And then it's because it's already in the anime, it's not even a spoiler anymore. Like I told you guys, when it happened in the manga, you find out that Aokiji is now with the Blackbeard pirates, and you find out that the Aokiji only became admiral by training under Garp. So when they fight, it's like it's the mentor fighting the mentee, and most of it happens off screen.
And then we still need that backstory of when him and Aikinu fought.
Yeah.
And what was the real reason why he left? Like, what was the real issue with the succession of who was going to become the next fleet admiral?
Right. Like Aikinu burned off.
And my
half
thing
your
is,
leg,
how
man.
strong is Sengoku?
He's an ancient Zoan. So put that two and two together.
I'm like, yo, and like, yo, if he this strong, I didn't feel that when he fought at the
because he didn't do anything.
No,
Marineford.
Yeah. To be honest, that fight was political on the Marine side. That was very political.
And that's
you could tell, like,
retconned a lot. But go ahead, it's been retconned a lot.
Yeah, because you could tell the Marines are still trying to keep up like a certain persona. Because even remember when Aikinu chewed out the gravity dude, he's like, sir, I can't put that in a report. He's like, sir, we are not about to tell the world twice that pirates saved people. We're going to lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same thing what happened with Alabasta. And then now you have another kingdom that was basically saved by pirates, and we did nothing. No, this world would not believe in us anymore. We can't have that.
What do you rate the One Piece arcs?
Oh, that's a good question. For those watching and listening, this will probably be a separate segment from the initial pod. So we'll have the initial pod as just the gaming part, and I'll be releasing this portion of an anime only, the gamer podcast breakdown of all the One Piece arcs in order, coming from yours truly, Antonius the Gamer, Super SS Rank, and Mikkel Smith. Thank you all who continue to support us, watch our clips, give us likes, share, subscribe. We really appreciate y'all. Obviously, we try to make an effort to give you guys as much content as possible with an almost 4-hour pod. But till next time, this has been the Gamer Podcast, and thank you guys again for listening.